when was the last time you went into the forest, cut down a tree, took it to a craftsman so that he could shape it with his chisel, and then you adorned it with silver and gold, and you fastened it with hammer and nails so that it did not totter? Oh, no, good for you. Never. That's awesome. You know what people used to do that for? To make idols. The practices of the peoples are worthless. They cut a tree out of the forest, and a craftsman shapes it with his chisel. They adorn it with silver and gold. They fasten it with a hammer and nail so it will not totter. Like a scarecrow in a cucumber field, their idols cannot speak. They must be carried because they cannot walk. Do not fear them. They can do no harm, nor can they do any good. People used to make a tree log their god and ask it for things and pray that it would bring them good things. What? That doesn't even make sense. However, nowadays, what idols do you have? Is it your phone? Is it your TV? Is it your home? You want to adorn it with nice things so that people will, think you're great and you'll have great things and that your life is great. An idol can be anything. Watch out. Do not learn the ways of the nations or be terrified by the signs in the heavens, though the nations are terrified by them. There is no one like you, Lord. You are great and your name is mighty in power. His name alone is powerful. You can call on God by simply just speaking God. That's it. And then you know what God does? He is so omnipotent, which means he knows everything, that he can take your one word of reverie, of need, of crying out to someone for help, and he can change your entire situation. Among all the wise leaders of the nations and in all their kingdoms, no one is like you. They are all senseless and foolish. They are taught by worthless wooden idols. If we have a country full of leaders who do not call on God, they are foolish and they are senseless. Who is their leader? Is it the knowledge that they've acquired in college? Okay, great, that can only get you so far. It is God alone who gives wisdom. But the Lord is the true God. He is the living God, the eternal King. When he is angry, the earth trembles. The nations cannot endure his wrath. Think about all of the fires, and I just got a notification that Nepal was hit with 2 earthquakes. The earth trembles. What is going on in this world? Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm calling out doomsday, because if we are so far from God that we don't even think about him on a daily basis, the nations, none of them can endure his wrath. Tell them this: these gods who did not make the heavens and the earth will perish from the earth and from under the heavens. But God who made the earth has his power. He founded the world by his wisdom and stretched out the heavens by his understanding. When he thunders, the waters in the heavens roar. When he makes clouds rise from the ends of the earth, he sends lightning like the rain and brings out the winds from his storehouse. He has a storehouse of snow. He has a storehouse of wind because he creates them. And he can just drop them on us without us being able to do anything. For this is what the Lord says: at this time I will hurl out those who live in this land, and I will bring distress on them so that they may be captured. Here in America, we think we are so secure in our nation, but guess what? We have been around for a minuscule amount of time. Think about the Egyptians. Over 2,000 years in America, we haven't even hit 300. Goodness, we think we're so powerful, and God can just obliterate us just like that. The shepherds are senseless and do not inquire of the Lord, so they do not prosper, and their flock is scattered. You might not have sheep, you might not have a flock, but how's your life going? Are you calling on God every day? Are you inquiring God of what you should be doing in even half of the stuff that you got going on? Then you will not prosper, and your life is going to be scattered. Listen, the report is coming, a great commotion from the land of the north. It will make the towns of Judah desolate and haunt like jackals. What if it's not Judah? What if it's talking about Chicago, New York, Miami, California? I mean, our nation could become nothing. We could be taken over by someone from any other part of the world. We are not as secure as we think we are. And why? Because most of America does not call on God, and we're just doing whatever we want to. We can see it all over the internet. Lord, I know that people's lives are not their own. It is not for them to direct their steps. We don't get to pick and choose what we're doing. The Lord tells us, don't do this, don't do this, do this, do this. He is very clear in what we should be doing, and it's not for, him bending our knee to his will. It's because he knows what's best. He created all of this, and then sin came in and muddled it all. And God knows the best plan for our lives, what we should be doing, so that doesn't happen, so that we don't get taken over by other countries who have their stuff together more than us. Discipline me, Lord, but only in due measure, not in your anger, or you will reduce me to nothing. Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not acknowledge you, on the peoples who do not call on your name. For they have devoured Jacob. They have devoured him completely and destroyed his homeland. This isn't Jacob's homeland from the Bible, but it's mine. And it sure seems like it's going to ruin. Think of Rome. you've ever been to Rome, you can see their ruined cities. America, how far off are we? We're not as secure as we think we are. So do not learn the ways of the nations, even the way of our own nation. Learn the way of God's instruction. Do not be terrified by the signs of the heavens. Hurricanes, fires, earthquakes. That's terrifying unless you have God. The practices of the peoples are worthless. Sitting around watching TV all day, gossiping, living the way you want to, it's bringing destruction. And it's hard to live for God. It is a choice. You have to actively seek Him. The first thing you do in the morning, what is it? You scroll your phone? Or you say, hey, good morning, God. Thanks for another day. Shepherds are senseless and do not inquire of the Lord, so they do not prosper and their flocks are scattered. You might have plenty. You might be comfortable right now. 20 years. You don't have God, you will not prosper. Call on God, Jesus, Lord. God Almighty, your name is power. I pray that anyone who sees this will turn to you and call on you so that they may prosper, so that our country may prosper, so that we will not be taken over by any number of other countries that could take us over. Lord, this is a powerful nation that was founded on you, and I ask that we would continue to call on you and seek you so that you do not destroy us. Discipline us, Lord, but only in due measure, not in your anger, so that we are not reduced to nothing. Lord, please prosper our nation so that it may continue to grow in you, Lord. Amen. All right, bye, you guys.